Hey, this is Elizabeth with Mad for Macrame. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this basket using a new stitch called the cone stitch. I love this pattern, and this stitch makes the basket have so much texture and it looks really nice with multiple colors. So I hope you enjoy this one. To begin, you're going to need a wooden base, and this one has 10mm holes and a 4-inch. A 7 and a 9mm crochet hook, some scissors, and a tapestry needle. And for cord today, I'm going to use 5mm braided. I've got natural and laurel from Bobbini. And I think I'm going to use milky green in my outlet cord. It's also 5mm braided. These rolls are super affordable. It's 100% cotton, very soft. There are some joins throughout, but it's at a great price. I'll make sure that I put the link up above for you. For round one, I'm going to use my 7mm crochet hook, and you want to start off by leaving the tail about 10 to 12 inches long. We're going to use that tail to close a couple rounds on the base. I like to make a loop, and you can start in any hole around the base. So just push your hook through and then add that loop to your hook and pull that loop through. We're going to make slip stitches around this base. Make sure you grab your working cord, and I like to hold the tail down with my finger on the back so it stays secure. So insert your hook in the next hole, pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the one on your hook. And again, so you insert in the hole, pull up a loop, and pull it through the one on your hook. And continue making those slip stitches around the base until you get to the last hole, and I'll meet you back. Now we're going to use the tail to make this last slip stitch. So just use it, and when you insert your hook, pull up that loop with that tail and pull it through the one on your hook. Then pull it all the way through. To finish this off, you're going to make an invisible close. So under this first stitch that we created, you want to insert your hook from back to front, then pull that tail through. Essentially, we're making another V. Now we need the tail to go through that last stitch we created, right through the center here. So flip your base over and insert your hook in that last hole. That'll bring it through the center of that V. Now pull the tail through. This makes for a nice seamless finish on the front and the back. To begin round two, where this tail is sticking out on the back side, this hole, we're going to insert our hook actually behind the stitch directly in the hole. We need to pull up a loop and chain one. And you know you're in the right spot when you see that tail is sticking out on the back side. So yarn over, pull up a loop, and then chain one. Now we're going to make single crochets, and we're going to increase on every other hole, starting with an increase. So in this first hole, I'm going to place 2 single crochets. To make a single crochet, you insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and then pull through both. Back in this same hole, I'm going to place the second. We're going to insert that hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. So that's 2 single crochets in that one hole. Now for the next, I'm going to place 1 single crochet, because we're just increasing on every other hole. So the next one will get 2, back in the same hole for my second stitch, and then we go back to 1. So you're just alternating 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way around. On the last hole, this falls on an increase, so we need to place 2 single crochets in this hole. And I'll show you how to finish it up with the tail. For this first stitch, we're just going to use our working cord like normal and make a single crochet and go back in that same hole to place the second. So you're going to pull up a loop with your working cord and then switch to your tail. You're going to yarn over with this tail. And then pull that cord all the way through. We finish with the tail so we can make the invisible clothes using that tail. Now under the first stitch we created, this first V on top, just like the last round, we're going to insert our hook from the back side and then pull that tail through from front to back. Now the tail needs to go through the center of the last stitch we created, through the center of this V. So I'm going to flip my work over and then you'll see these 2 little loops. You're going to insert your hook through the center of those 2 back loops and pull the tail through. Now round 2 is finished. For round 3, I'm going to switch my hook to a 9mm. This is just the size I prefer. And on the back side of my work, you'll see where this tail is sticking out. This stitch, where that tail is, you're going to insert your hook through the center of that V, making sure to go under that little second back loop, pull up a loop, and chain 1. We're going to make single crochets in these back loops all the way around. So you want to insert your hook through the center of that V, making sure to pick up that second back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both. I'm going to finish up this round, and then on the last stitch, make sure you yarn over with the tail and then create that invisible close. I'll meet you back for round 4 where we begin the cone stitch. I wanted to mention after round 3, you need to turn up that last round. This actually is the first row of sidewalls on your basket. Okay, to begin round 4, we need to find where that tail is sticking out, that stitch. You're going to insert your hook underneath that top V where that tail is sticking out on the back side. To begin, we need to chain 1. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through. This is our first stitch on round 4. Now we're going to make the cone stitch, and you can see on the side we have the top V's and then we have the side V's where we put waistcoat stitches. These V's here on the side. For this pattern, we're going to make a cone stitch and then a single crochet. So first we're going to skip the V directly below our chain. So skip this one and then move to the next one on the left, and we're going to start with a cone stitch. You want to insert your hook underneath those two posts of that V on the outside of your basket. And this is a little tight on this first round. Now you basically want to make a single crochet. So pull up a loop and stretch that loop up, then yarn over and pull through both. Now we're going to make a single crochet in the top stitch, the very next V on top. Insert your hook, and then pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. And you're going to alternate a cone stitch and a single crochet for the rest of this round. So we skip that V directly below, move to the next, insert our hook, and we pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. Now a single crochet. I'll meet you back at the very end on that last stitch and show you how to close with the tail. Okay, on this last stitch, it should fall on a cone stitch. So we're going to insert our hook and pull up a loop with our working cord, just like normal. But before we yarn over, we're going to switch to using our tail. So we're going to close this round with the tail and then create an invisible close. So yarn over and pull that tail through, and then continue pulling the tail all the way. To join here, just like we have done on the previous rounds, you want to insert your hook under this top stitch and pull that tail through from front to back. Now to finish up making that V, you want to insert your hook in the last stitch we created, that last V on top, and make sure you insert your hook under both of these back loops and pull that tail through. For round 5, we begin with the chain. It kind of acts as our first single crochet. So you want to insert your hook underneath that top V where that tail is sticking out on the back side. Yarn over with your working cord, pull up a loop, and then chain 1. We start with a cone stitch. Now we have our cone stitches, and then between them, there's a little V on this side where we made that single crochet. That's where you want to place those cone stitches now. Back to a single crochet, and then a cone stitch. So you skip that little spiral stitch and then insert your hook in the V. I'm going to continue working this pattern for the rest of the round, closing up this round with my tail, and I'll meet you back and show you how to change colors. For the next round, I want to use this outlet cord in the color Milky Green. And this cord is just like Bobbini's. You want to start with the side that has the knot. So you want to start pulling your cord here and leave that band on as long as you can. It'll keep everything from being tangled. Go ahead and clip your working cord. And where this tail is sticking out on the back side, That's where we're going to begin, just like on the last round. We're going to insert our hook in this V right in front of that tail. Now we can add the new color. So take your cord and leave the tail about 8 inches long and create a loop. Then add that loop to your hook and pull it through. Make sure you grab your working cord and chain 1. Now you can begin with your stitches. We always start with that cone stitch. So we skip the twisted stitch and then we insert our hook in the next V. Pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both. Then a single crochet. And for the single crochet, I like to add the 2 tails or the 2 ends of the old color on top of my hook so I can stitch around them and hide them as I work. So when you pull up a loop, make sure those are on top of your hook. Yarn over and pull through both. I'm going to finish up this round in milky green, and then I'm going to continue with another round in the color natural. So I'll have 3 colors. I'll meet you back and show you how to finish this basket up. I just finished up round 7 in natural, and I need to make an invisible close just to finish this off. So under this first stitch, I'm going to pull that cord through, and then under the last stitch through the center, under those 2 back loops, I'm going to pull that cord through. Make sure you weave in your ends. Because I finished in natural, I want to make sure that these ends are underneath the natural stitches so they're hidden. I like to use my tapestry needle. And you just want to thread your tails one at a time through your needle. And just hide them under a couple of these top stitches, just until everything feels nice and secure. And your basket's complete. If you do decide to make this basket and you post it on socials, please tag me. I'm excited to see what color combinations you come up with. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!